So we're going to be shooting test looks. First off though, what is a test look? It could mean a lot of different things. Essentially, you're testing something out. It could be a camera, could be lighting, could be the model. Traditionally though, in fashion, when you contact an agency for a test look, what it means is that you want to work with a model and create test looks for her portfolio. So basically, given that, you can imagine that the focus here is the model, making her look good and creating images that are going to be good for her portfolio. So the sort of test looks we're going to be doing, test looks can span a lot of different things. They can be full-length, more fashion-oriented test looks, and then you can have beauty test looks. So we're not going to be focused on beauty test looks. We're going to be doing beauty as a separate segment, but our test looks will focus on actually shooting more full-length, 2/3 and 3/4 type of shots. So our focus really will be on making the model look great, making her body look nice and lean, and essentially just emphasizing her and creating portfolio-worthy shots. So given that, what you really want from styling is to keep it nice and simple. You don't want anything fancy that looks too editorial, and so we're going to be covering, what the difference is between them. But basically, with test looks, you want it to look as though it's something that the model came in off the streets with. Could be in her closet. Really natural, nothing that seems forced. Same thing with hair and makeup. You want to keep it natural. You don't want too much makeup. You don't want the hair to look too fancy. Again, you don't want to be bordering on editorial. Basically, hair and makeup should look like she could do it herself at home. So given that, you can imagine that you probably don't need a makeup artist or a stylist for test looks, which is true. You can actually shoot them just by having the model bring her own clothing and have her bring her makeup. She can either do it at the studio or come in with makeup. It's an option for you. I don't recommend doing that though, just because you never really know what you're going to get. So if you can get a makeup artist and a stylist, then the looks are just going to look that much better, because if you ask the model to bring it in, you don't know what her styling sensibilities are like. She may have really good style, which I've had personally, and she may have really bad style, which I've also seen. So best to have a stylist that you trust. You know they're going to bring in the right looks to give you a good result. So we're going to be showing you a couple of different ways that you can light these test looks. Our focus is really on just getting the lighting nice, getting a clean in-camera image, because we don't want to be processing these to death. We want to basically spend 20 or 30 minutes editing these photos so that they look good, the model looks good, but she doesn't look like she's had a lot of editing done. So from the model agency standpoint, they want the model to look like herself. Now, the reason why you should be shooting test looks is, well, for a couple of things. So first of all, it's good practice. So when you're actually going to be going out and shooting an editorial, you're going to be taking some of the lighting concepts that we learn here and applying them to editorial, which you'll see that once we actually shoot editorial, it's pretty similar as far as lighting, camera settings. It's really just the nature of the shoot that changes. With test looks, it's just one look and then you move on. There doesn't have to be any sort of continuity like there is in an editorial. Another reason why you want to shoot them is it gives you a good relationship with the agency. So once you work on several test looks for them, you build your reputation with that agency, and then they'll give you better models when you're actually going to shoot an editorial. And finally, some agencies will pay you for test looks as well. So once you actually start working with the agency for a while, they trust you, they know that you're going to deliver a good result, they'll actually hire you to shoot test looks for their models. Best thing that you can do if you want to shoot a test look, just ask the agency how that model is positioned. Is she more of a lifestyle model, more of a commercial model? Is it more of sort of a high fashion model, runway model? That will dictate how you should shoot it. Are we going to use soft light? Are we going to use more commercial clothing? Are we going to use something that's a little edgier? So all of that will dictate what your shots should be. And then obviously that, just by asking that, you're not offending anybody. The agency actually loves that. Some agencies will even send you a mood board. So you can ask if you guys have a mood board for this, please send it over. And they'll send you reference looks of what you can use. So obviously saves you time. You know exactly what the agency wants. You can pass that off to your stylist and you've got your mood board ready to go. So most important thing I can emphasize is give them a range of options for the shots. So shoot full length, 2/3, 3/4, and also some of the portrait looks we're going to be covering later as well. That's really important, especially with a full length. I've talked to agencies and they've said that they've had tests in the past where they get no full length and it's almost useless and they actually have to reshoot the whole test shoot. So make sure you have that variety, and we're going to be covering all those looks today.